Marty, it's so good to talk to you today. Maybe
Likewise.
you could introduce yourself and your project Verdagy.
Yeah, I'm Marty Neese. I'm the CEO of Verdagy, and we've been working on a green hydrogen electrolyzer development company. So we've been scaling up the design and production of a very large scale 20 megawatt electrolyzer for the production of green hydrogen.
Very nice. And before I go to my next question, let's talk about the big news yesterday.
Yeah, so we finished an initial close on a B round, so very happy about that. We were able to successfully add 4 new investors and raise a significant amount of money that will fund us for the next couple of years. And if we're judicious about the capital and we do a little bit more work, we might be able to add another year to that, which should take us fully to commercialization.
Very nice. Let's talk about why is now the right time for Verdagy.
Yeah, you couldn't pick a better amount of tailwinds all converging at the same time. So you've got environmental concerns, the existential threat of climate change, policy action on every continent, to include the United States, our home country, where you've got the Inflation Reduction Act, which is really incentivizing both the production of renewable energy, so wind and solar, and then their companion activities of electrolyzers to produce green hydrogen. Put all that together, we can electrolyze using solar and wind as an input, strong incentives from the government, we can be economic straight out of the box, which means that scale is coming and it's going to come rapidly. So really super excited about the tailwinds. We've got the sail tacked in the right direction. We're leaning into the wind and we're going like hell.
And we are going with you.
Perfect.
So today, this is the first TDK Ventures Portfolio Summit. Have you enjoyed it? Have you found it valuable?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I had gone to the Coastal Ventures CEO Summit, and I was thinking, this is the beginning of your journey to the same thing, where you end up having a very large portfolio of really impactful companies. And I'm happy to be part of the inaugural event, because then 10 years from now I can discuss with you, remember that night we were it was humble, it was one little room, and now you're renting out who knows what.
Who knows what.
Who knows what.
It's a lot of meaningful projects. Maybe you can tell me which one was your favorite portfolio company today?
I can't say that I understood all of them. There were some things about cellular needles that I didn't totally get. It's not my domain. So the ones that I could wrap my mind around just because of direct experience was the company that was doing a different kind of self-driving vehicle, not autonomous vehicle, but self-driving vehicle. I found that pretty fascinating and encouraging because they had found a way around some of the more intractable problems of autonomous vehicles. So I was keen to hear more about that one.
That was Faction.
Faction, that's it.
So what does TDK goodness mean to you?
Yeah, so far it's meant the most pronounced Rolodex. That's an old term. Back in my day, we used to have these things that had business cards on it.
I remember.
It was called a Rolodex. Anyway, a Rolodex was an ability to reach out to anyone and make a significant warm introduction and a relationship that preceded the follow-on person meeting the other party. So what's been super incredible for both the A round, where you guys led the round, and now this B round, is the amount of ambassadorship that TDK took on our behalf, which is just phenomenal. I did not expect that investors would say, do you have technical diligence or due diligence from a counterparty? And I'd say, yeah, TDK Ventures led our first round. Oh, they've got a terrific reputation. Then they'd get a hold of your technical due diligence. Next thing you know, I'm in full fundraising mode and they're deeply interested, and it's all predicated on the TDK goodness of the diligence and the thoughtfulness you guys put into the first assessment of Verdagy. And then I don't know what you guys do after that, but I'm sure there's some tracking along the way that says, here's how they're doing, here's how they're evolving. But those prospective investors have been phenomenally influenced by your groundwork. And so I can't thank you enough for that. That's how we get to be around done.
I would actually give you the credit back because part of that due diligence is tracking where we think you will be in 12 months or 24 months. That would not look good if you did not deliver on what you were planning to do.
There's that small execution problem that it's a bug. You have to deliver. Yeah.
Very nice. What was the best collaboration experience you had with TDK Corporation?
So there was an opportunity where, not me, which I get a lot of opportunity to interact with TDK and all kinds of other people, but it was your team going to a corporate venturing conference down in Monterey. And opportunistically, at the conference, the TDK Ventures team reached out to dinner mates and said, you got to go to Moss Landing. You got to see one of our portfolio companies. Next thing you know, there's a whole bunch of prospective investors showing up. I wasn't able to be at that visit, but the team was like, it was unbelievable. Like all these people showed up. That we were hosting it was like a job fair. Like there was people everywhere. Like, hey, we're interested. And all of that was like within 48 hours. And just like turned into something, and it looks like we may get 1 or 2 investors out of that visit. Completely serendipitous, completely opportunistic, and it didn't involve me. So I felt like it was really organic because the team got a chance to do it on their own, and your team got a chance to do it on their own. And they just made something out of like a conference meal that could have been kind of boring. Turned it into a field trip and everybody had fun and we got some investors out of the deal.
It's actually an amazing example because that was not your idea and that was not my idea. It was our teams making it happen.
Completely. And feeling empowered enough to do so.
Yep.
And saying like, hey, they're a good enough portfolio partner that they would welcome the opportunity to host a visit impromptu.
Yep.
And what I tell my team all the time is we have to be tour ready always.
Yep.
Like we don't need a week of preparation. We just run the way we run. Somebody shows up, we host them the way we would a neighbor, and we take care of them. And they did that. And it turned out to be a good thing. It worked out.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Let's look at the future.
Yeah.
Where do you see Verdagy in 5 years?
5 years, I see us in US, Europe. When I say Europe, I'd say Iberia, US, Iberia, Australia, and India. And I think we'll have multi-gigawatt scale producing product in those 4 territories.
Full green hydrogen.
Full green hydrogen. What's the point of blue?
Exactly.
No, I'm just kidding.
That was a crazy question, right?
Blue is okay, but only because, okay, let's not talk about oil and gas. There are investors as well, but we don't want to extend the life of natural gas beyond its useful purpose when there's a better substitute right on the horizon that's going to economically displace blue anyway.
So let me double click on this.
Might as well jump to it.
Marty, why does it matter to have green hydrogen at the right price point?
It's always about economic gravity. There's no such thing as ESG. There's only such thing as P&L. And people are economically motivated. So I was in solar for a very long time. We talked about grid parity relentlessly, like nonstop. Same thing in green hydrogen. We have to be better than fossil parity. If you want people to make an economic choice, you have to make it economically compelling for them to do so. Really simple. You can make more money going green. Dead simple. Then the engines of capitalism work in your favor. Everybody's operating on the same exact paradigm. We're trying to maximize shareholder value by maximizing returns for them. Clearest path to do that, green hydrogen. Make it cheaper, you're in the money. Everybody's happy.
Thank you, Marty. That was great, and I'm
welcome.
so happy to be part of your journey. Thank you.
Thank you.